We are here with Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's the Oscar winner, and she's taking her talents to Facebook Watch. She's starring in a new series. It's called Queen America.
Yes, she plays Vicki Ellis, the most renowned and ruthless pageant coach in Oklahoma. And after her client is decrowned, she agrees to take on the hapless runner-up who needs some work. Take a look.
Samantha, one thing you'll figure out during our training is that although learning how to speak well is important, learning when not to speak at all is even more so. Ma'am, let's find you some jewelry that doesn't look like you won it at an arcade.
Catherine, good morning, you big meanie.
Well, yes.
It must have been fun to play.
You know, it's always good to play. She's not a villain because as the series unfolds, you see the cracks and the vulnerability in her.
Yeah.
And that's why I took on this role of Vicki Ellis in Queen America. But yet, you can just relish in her because in a way, she's like my alter ego. You know, it's like, oh, I think that, but I would never say it. Vicki thinks it and says it.
Goes ahead and says it.
Yeah, and that's always so much fun. I just relish in that.
And this, although it's a lot of fun, it's kind of a dark comedy, it does tackle some kind of serious issues.
Yes.
Eating disorder, bullying, things like that.
Yes.
Things that I think will hit home for a lot of people.
It does. You know, it's on the outside, that pageant world, it seems kind of light and fluffy. But our series delves into the grittier part of it all, and the idea of perfection, especially in the world we live in today. And yes, we do. We deal with bulimia. We deal with a lot of distressing things. But it's a way of showing the world that, you know, these girls' commitment to life is getting to a better place, and this is what it takes. And it was a wonderful journey for me to take on this character.
There's a very striking scene where your character has a moment of binge eating, and I was reading in some of the notes that, you know, you said you grew up as a dancer. Like you could really connect to that need and that feeling that you have to be perfect and you have to look a certain way.
I was brought up I was a dancer. So if you spend that much time, you know, in front of a mirror, you're for sure going to find something wrong with yourself. But what was interesting after I shot that scene in particular was that both men and women on the set came to me and kind of held my hand and went, wow, that really touched me. Both men and women. And these were the crew members. These were hair and makeup. These were not models. These were not actresses or ballet dancers where one would associate bulimia or anorexia with. So it was interesting. And the great thing about being on Facebook Watch, which is a completely new platform for me, is that there is the content, and then there's the community, and then there's the conversation. So, if, for example, issues like that, people can communicate, share stories, share the lightness and the darkness of these characters. Because, like I said, the character, Vicki, my character on the outset looks like she's just a ball-breaking, no-nonsense, ruthless woman, and she is. But you see where that comes from, the fear. And the letdown of maybe what her life could have been.
It wasn't too long ago we had your husband on the show, and you're on the show, and you guys have been together, I think it's going on 18 years. And I was just struck at how remarkably candid you are about your marriage. We always hear about the good things, but you don't shy away from talking about the things that aren't so great. I was just, you know, I was looking you up this morning, and I saw you'd spoken about those things that were probably tough to talk about.
Well, yeah, I think that, well, first of all, I'm so happy that we've made it. It's been 20 years together, and it's been great. But I think it's just unfathomable to me that you could be with one person for 18 years and things are not rosy every day. You know, they're just not. And my mother and father are married for 52 years, and they're a wonderful blueprint for me because I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly with them, and they're still going strong. You know, both Michael and I have a very open relationship. You know, when you have kids that didn't ask to be born into a world where it's scrutinized or looked into,
you feel like
you've got to be open and honest and share things that probably people at the drugstore wouldn't share over the counter. You know?
Do you feel like that Michael gets kind of too much scrutiny? Is that what you think?
No, not at all. No, Michael's doing just fine.
You talked about kind of having a conversation, almost it sounded like a family meeting when some allegations came up against him. And again, you were really open about it, just kind of saying like, okay, what's really going on here, and how it was sort of a moment for you and the family.
Yeah, we share everything around the table. You know, I'm a big European kind of family girl, and so everything is shared around the table. You know, issues with my daughter if she's feeling insecure, she's a teenager, and girls can be mean, and my son just going off to college, what that is for him, what is for me, because I never let on how much I miss him terribly because he's having such a great time.
Right.
And so all these conversations get around the table, and so and then I think it's you clear the air, and everyone knows what's going on. There's no big surprises.
That's
you
right.
know?
You put a really cute picture up on the moment you met.
I know.
On Instagram, which was all those years ago.
I know.
And you share a birthday.
Hello, is that good or bad?
It was wonderful for 10 years, darling, and then it got really boring. It got boring. It's like, why am I looking for a gift for my husband when it's mine?
What about mine? What would Vicky say in your character?
Why are there two names of that? She wouldn't be dealing with that. She would go, honey, you buy your own cake. Wouldn't it be nice to have just Catherine? No, of course, we absolutely love it. And I must say that as the years go on, it's the kind of destined of, you know, we're so similar.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate that he's 25 years older than me. As I age gracefully, it's like, the gap gets narrower and narrower as it does with men.
Yes.
God damn, I hate that. But I'm just going to reiterate that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Catherine,
we appreciate
thank you so much. You're coming back with Hoda and Kathy Lee a little bit later on.
Seeing you later.
Yes,
That's right.
We're waiting for you.
You can catch Queen America on Facebook Watch. It's a new episode tonight, on Sunday, actually, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Don't miss it.